Joining us right now from Washington, House Judiciary Committee member, Congressman Louie Gohmert of Texas. Congressman Gohmert, it's good to see you, sir. Thanks so much for joining us.
Always good to be with you. Thank you, Maria.
Congratulations to you. This is a big deal, and we know it, passing that bill. What are your thoughts about the Senate? Can the Senate get it over the finish line? We were just naming, Ron Johnson is a no.
Right.
John McCain does not like the president. He doesn't want to do anything in terms of legislation passing. Jeff Flake also has problems. Bob Corker has problems with the president. You think can the Senate pass something?
Well, sure they can pass something, but they're going to have to quit sounding like Democrats giving disinformation. When John Dingell was chairman of the Energy and Commerce Committee, he would have had jurisdiction to bring out Obamacare, and it would have been a lot better bill. He's extremely liberal, but he and his wife Debbie are both they're decent, honorable, honest people. But the reason that Pelosi removed him as chairman is because she wanted cap and trade pushed through, and it would have added massive taxes to corporations, energy corporations. And Dingell said it's not only a tax, it's a great big tax. And what a lot of people do not understand, when you lower prices or lower the corporate rate, you have just lowered prices for the poorest in the country, who pay a far greater percentage of their income for the basics they need. Those prices come down. The prices of goods and services, can you imagine 35%, if you eliminated all corporate tax, the biggest beneficiaries would be the nation's poor. And we could compete across the world when you knock down prices by knocking out the corporate tax. But getting it down to 20 was a huge win. I wish that McConnell and Ryan had listened to the president, but he wanted to work something out, and he came up to 20, and they came down from where they were. So it's at 20. It's still a huge help for the nation's poor, and I'm sick and tired of people playing politics and saying, oh, it's just for the rich corporations. The corporate tax is the most insidious tax there is, because it is the largest tariff that any industrialized nation puts on its own goods and services. It's time to give that a break and give the poor a break, and more jobs, more income. It's going to increase revenue in the long run. So I'm thrilled that we passed it, and the Senate's just got to get realistic and quit playing politics and do what's good for the American people.
Congressman, the Senate is going to include a repeal of the individual mandate. Is that going to accelerate this thing getting done by Christmas, or is that going to get in the way?
No. It's going to speed things up. And I really think most of us in the House wanted, the Republicans that is, we wanted to eliminate the individual mandate, because what that does is that allows us to give even bigger tax breaks, which are going to help the economy even more. What I couldn't believe about the Senate was when they were talking about putting this stuff off for a year.
Well, they're still talking about that, right? That's in there.
I mean, my gosh, what they would be doing if they put this off for a year is they would be letting the Democrats take the majority next year, and then the tax cuts would kick in, corporate tax cuts, and then the economy would improve just in time for the new Democratic majority to say, look what we did for the economy. I mean, that's nuts. That's really crazy.
Some of that falls on your shoulders, not just you as an individual, but you as a member of the House of Representatives.
Right.
Because if you had tackled this first rather than Obamacare repeal, if this had been first on the table in February, then it could have gotten done by the end of the year, and then you could have made it retroactive.
Actually, we did do this earlier, and what happened? We did it back, March? But the Senate is, once again, the problem where this happened. So when you say if you had gotten this done, you don't just mean House Republicans, you really mean actually the pseudo-Democrats, the Republicans in the House that refused to vote for it. That's who really made the difference.
But Congressman,
we would have had a lot bigger tax cut if we had done that and the Senate had gotten on board.
We don't even actually refer to Democrats as members of the House and members of the Senate when it comes to actually passing legislation, because nobody will lift one finger to do anything that will help the American people if a Republican is involved.
That's the way it looks.
Yeah, but let me ask you this.
I really was surprised no Democrats voted for it, because I know some of them know in their hearts that you lower the corporate rates, there's going to be bigger incomes. There's going to be more jobs. The economy is going to shoot up.
Well,
Some
I agree
of them
with that.
know
I mean,
that. They really are.
I totally understand, and I agree
really
that
know.
you lower the corporate tax and it has a major impact. Create an environment for business that encourages them to hire new workers and invest in their business.